is all that I know. She's over me. She's over me. She comes with her hypnotic dance. She holds me here with only a glance. She's over me. She's over me. Wow. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Paranormal Portal. These are the Night Terrors, and I'm your host, Brent Thomas. And no, there's nothing wrong with your speakers. This is just as good as my voice is getting tonight. But I'll have you know, I'm mending. I'm feeling better. Doing almost, approaching normal. Like I can see normal from here, and it's not too far away. So I think I'm pulling it all together, folks. But thank you so much. First and foremost, let me just say thank you so much for all the love and caring and all the messages and well-wishing. It was just really incredible, you feel like garbage, and I already feel bad that I'm not doing the shows, but then all those messages came in, and it was just like, it was like this blanket of love settled on me, and I had so many comments, and so many of you responded and wishing me well, telling me to take my time and stuff, and that was really, really cool. So it's amazing the amount of support you guys give the show when I'm here, and it's amazing how much support you give when I can't be here. So I just want to thank you all for that. That really made my, couple days, even though I slept a lot, it made me feel really good. So thank you guys for that. That really means the world. I got so many wonderful messages, and so many of you responded and reached out, and it's incredible. It's, I don't know how else to say it, but I was humbled, absolutely humbled by that. So thank you all for that. I couldn't stay away for too long, though, because I really miss doing the shows when I'm not here. I really miss doing this. This is one of the highlights of my days, is to come in and do these shows and to get together with all of you and talk about this stuff that I'm just absolutely passionate about. And I'm so glad so many of you continue to show up every time I do it. And sometimes you bring more people with you, so that's even cooler. All that being said, thank you again. I really appreciate that. I'm not here alone. I am joined by my firstborn, the first minnow in my pool of life. I love the faces he makes. Mr. Sheldon Thomas, how you doing, buddy?
Doing great. Always off to a strong start with those, I don't even know, statements, descriptors, whatever you want to call them.
I sit and think about it before the show. What should I call them tonight?
This is going to be a trend. I see.
It is. So,
I'll try not to be surprised.
No, I live for the faces you make when they're just like the grimaces you make when you're not on camera. It's so funny. It makes me
minnow of my pool. Yeah,
the first minnow in my pool of life. That one came to me a little earlier, so I was like, oh yeah, I got to use that. So, yeah, tighten the fruits of my loins. That was probably the most disturbing one yet, but I'll come up with some new ones, I promise. Just give me enough time. Your new favorite part of the show is making his son feel awkward. Well, that's what dads are supposed to do is, absolutely embarrass their children whenever they can. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that's true. That's true. Oh, that's true.
Okay, well, I didn't realize it was in the job description, but I'll keep it up then.
Yeah, you have to.
Welcome, everybody. And tonight we're going to do Ghostly Encounters, which is something we haven't done too much of lately on the Night Terrors. We've been doing a lot of strange phenomena. We've done some UFOs. We've done some of the cryptids. But I thought, let's get back to the ghostly stuff because I just love ghostly stuff too. So spreading these topics around a little bit to give you the variety that you've grown to love here in the Paranormal Portal. So we are also going to close out the show tonight with another of the Germer files. And it's a cool video, along with a sneak peek at the Sasquatch Chronicles app that's coming out. And so I hope you guys are all set for that, but that'll be on the tail end of the show. So hopefully you'll check that out too. But I guess the phone lines will be open as usual. 720-923-0500 is the numbers for fun here in the portal. Again, 720-923-0500. And that's how you can call in and be a part of the show. If you got something of your own, some paranormal event you'd like to share with us, that's how you can do it. If you don't want to call in, if that idea kind of freaks you out, just email it to paranormalportalradio@gmail.com. Again, paranormalportalradio@gmail.com. I know I need a shorter email address, but that's the best I got for right now. So I might have to mute a bunch tonight, but just bear with me. Ghosts, absolutely, Ghost Magnet. Ghost Magnet's like, yay, ghosts. It's in the title. It's in the title.
Sorry, go ahead.
Slowpoke. Hey, Slowpoke.
Slowpoke said, if you want to be gross, call him Squirt.
Ooh, nice. I love the contributions. I appreciate that.
Oh, God.
He's my little squirts. Oh, God. The humor just keeps on going. It's like a snowball from hell. It just gets bigger and bigger for poor Sheldon.
Yeah, that's great.
All right. So that's all the laundry list up front. Again, thank you for all the love and sports. I'm back, at least for now. I don't know what the hell it was though, man. It hit me like a truck. It was just like boom. And I was like, oh my God. And it went, my head was just boom, 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 boom. And the chest congestion was just like wham. But it only lasted a couple days. I've been coughing up things that I didn't know could come from a human body. It's like, what the hell is that? How'd that get in there? But anyway, this is a new improved version of me. And I guess I'm a little bit more genetically superior than I was before, because I think when you get over things, don't you get like this genetic charge, and now you can fight off that stuff in the future? Isn't that how it works?
Something like that.
Okay, we'll go with that. It sounds good. All right, folks. So anyway, I hope you all are ready because it's time for bed. Boom. I muted myself accidentally there. Boom. There we go, folks. We are now live and underway here. I guess I should bring Sheldon on too, right? There he is. Of course. My little trooper.
No, okay, you can, no. No.
Sorry. It still just stays funny in my head. Anyway, I'm easily amused. It might be the cold medicine, though. I don't know. I can't be held responsible for my attitude tonight or my maturity level, but that's pretty much normal. But anyway, we got some cool stuff to go over tonight, and I think we'll start diving into that. Are you ready, Sheldon?
Always.
He's always ready, folks. That's why he's here. Let me pull up our roster of fun here. First thing I wanted to do was go over, this is a list of from justforspooks.com, and it's a list of 10 unexplainable things that have happened to people. Oof, unexplainable things. Well, let's see what those unexplainable things are. Then we got some pet ones coming up next, which I thought were really cool. I found that. I was like, everybody's a pet lover. I think most all of us are pet lovers. So we're going to get into those next. But the first one is the gray demon. And this, again, was justforspooks.com. Who wrote it? Is there any credit here? I guess not. It's justforspooks.com. But this is a great site. I've been going through these articles on this site for a while now. And please support any of these sites that we feature on the show, because all these people are working really hard to bring this information out. And a lot of times they're doing it on their own dime and their own blood, sweat, and tears. So check out justforspooks.com. There's tons of articles there on the paranormal and supernatural. So this is from a subreddit, Ask Reddit. They were asked the question, what's the creepiest and most unexplainable thing that has ever happened to you or someone you know? Let's see what people say. Number one is the gray demon. One night I had a pretty severe nightmare where there was a gray, cloudy demon that was scuttling around my house. I woke up in a sweat when it jumped on me. About 2 minutes later, I'm trying to get back to sleep when I hear a yell from my brother's room. I was already up, so I asked him if he was all right through the door, and he said he was fine. Next morning, I asked him what woke him up last night, and he pretty much explained the exact same dream that I had. That's creepy.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's, if it was just a one-off, one person had a dream, okay, it's really hard to quantify dreams a lot of times, because it's hard to differentiate between the real dreams that are trying to tell you something and just the weird stuff that your head does when you're sleeping. But when two people in the same household have the same exact dream, just moments apart, that's definitely something solid there. That's just way too much chance to be just a random event, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the second one. A mirror to God knows where. For 2 years, my mom had a reoccurring nightmare in which the mirror at the end of the room facing my parents' bed would turn transparent, and there would be a man standing behind it. When redecorating, they removed the mirror from the wall to find a hole behind it, with a small, empty room leading to nowhere. Whoa. So there was like a secret room in this house, but they didn't go anywhere. It's like there's no way in or out of it. Was somebody's spirit lingering there, just looking through the mirror?
I don't know why. I feel like I've heard of stories like that where all of a sudden a mirror will go transparent or like become looking like liquid or something like that. I feel like I've read stories like that or heard of it at least.
Well, I mean, there's two-way mirrors where there's some creepy people. They hide cameras and stuff, or they actually have a hidden room where they'll go and watch people, and it looks like a regular mirror. And they say you're supposed to do that test where you take your finger and you put it up to the mirror, and if it's a real mirror, there should be a space between your finger and the reflection. If your reflection touches your finger, then that's a two-way mirror. Then so there could be something behind it. I always check that all the time. And I'll tell you what, years ago, it was funny, but we were having photos done, and we went to a photographer to have the photos done, and we were in the changing room, and he had this weird mirror sitting at an angle built into a box, but it was built into the wall, but it was kind of protruding out and stuff, and I was like, well, that's a really weird mirror. Why is that there? And I put my finger up to it and I touched it. I was like, oh, no. So I put a towel over it while we changed. I was like, this is creepy. So I don't know, folks, but if they say if your reflection touches your finger, then that could very well be a two-way mirror. So always check that stuff. There's too many creepy people out there. I don't know what's going on. Sometimes some of these comments in the chat get flagged like, ooh, somebody used an emoticon. Like,
yeah, I know.
I don't understand that. Okay. So that's the mirror, but apparently that room went nowhere, so there was some apparition appearing through there, and that's creepy. Okay.
Yeah.
The next one is number 3, the invisible passenger. Got lost with girlfriend at night in Waco, Texas. Roads were deserted, no people, no cars. Then saw one lone person standing on the corner as I made a turn. I heard a friendly male voice in the vehicle, as if sitting in the back seat, say to me, "You're going the wrong way." I noticed I was indeed going the wrong way on a one-way street, so I did a U-turn. The road took me directly to the main highway. I asked my girlfriend a bit later if she heard the voice too, and she burst into tears because she had been so freaked out by it. She thought she was going insane or something.
Wow.
Well, I mean, that's a good guide right there. I mean, if you're going to have a spirit voice popping out of nowhere, then helping you out is a good thing. It's like, hey, you're going the wrong way. Hey. And the guy corrects it. And so was that lone person? Was that the apparition? Or was it just two very, two unrelated events that was just very circumstantial? I think it was probably the apparition, a full body manifestation of some kind, going, oh, this clown's going the wrong way. Anyway, at least they used their powers for good. Number 4, a little help from a friend. When my wife was 6 years old, she fell into a well. She couldn't climb her way out and started to cry, and she heard a girl's voice tell her not to worry and directed her to a group of stones that were jutting out far enough to grab hold of. The voice told her to climb out, and she did. When she got out, there was nobody around, and she ran home. Told the story to her mom, only to find out that a little girl had drowned in that same well many years ago. Wow, that's really cool.
Oh, wow.
So now you got to wonder if they went back to look at the well, was the stone still jutting out enough to grab onto, or was that manifested for the person? I don't know. That's really cool. There was another story that we covered on the show not too long ago, maybe a month or two or so ago, and it was this little boy fell off a dock and didn't really know how to swim, and he was alone on the dock, and he fell in and went down to the bottom, and he couldn't breathe, couldn't swim, and he was freaking out. And all of a sudden, a little girl appeared to him and said, look up, look at the light. And he did, and he saw it, and she said, now kick your feet and pull your hands until you get up to the light. And he did, and once he got up high enough, his grandfather grabbed him and pulled him out of the water. But, turns out that years before, a little girl had drowned in that very spot. So, what do you make of that? What do you make of that?
Ghostly intervention.
Right? I think that's really cool. I wish there was more of those out there, more of those benevolent helpers. Number 5 is the silent visitor. I remember when I was in Mexico with some of my cousins, and we started a bonfire outside an abandoned warehouse. Reaching nightfall, we got the fire going, and we settled down around, and we talk and laugh and whatnot. It wasn't until one of my cousins noticed an odd human-like figure standing in the distance. This person or thing was wearing a blackened, dirty white gown with their hair over their face looking down. Ooh, Samara the Ring. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see The Ring, Sheldon?
I saw it once and never saw it again.
I never did see it, but I've of course heard all about it. We all stood up and got behind the oldest cousins, 2 of my cousins and me, and I remember asking in Spanish who they were and what they wanted. The fact that it wasn't responding got us uneasy. Shortly afterwards, it started to glide towards us. My blood shot cold seeing that. We were in disbelief and frozen. Once we snapped back, we started running and screaming back to the ranch. No one knows what that was, really, nor did return there when night fell. Nor did we return there? I don't know. Nor did it return there? I don't know where that goes, but yeah, that's creepy. Those weird apparitions like that are hard to understand. But
yeah, whether it's a fragment of the past or something interfering.
Right. Something might have triggered a memory of the land, or maybe it is an actual, earthbound spirit that's just trapped there for some reason. Very tragic. Number 6, the haunted souvenirs. One summer, my brother went to Ghana and came back with a bunch of souvenirs. He went back to school and left them all with my parents. My parents used to live in a 2-story bungalow where my brother and I had bedrooms in the basement directly beneath theirs. One night around 2 a.m., I woke up to hear heavy footsteps right above me. I tried to ignore it and go back to sleep because he was such a loud snorer. My dad would sleep in my brother's room as well. In the morning, my dad asked my mom what she was doing walking around at 2 a.m. Well, she denied that she was, but I backed up my dad because I heard it too. She continued to say it wasn't her, and the next night it was the same thing, heavy footsteps at 2 or 3 in the morning. My dad and I attempted to recreate the footsteps, used hard steel boots, but nothing came close to the sound. I started having really weird dreams, and in them, I felt awake and would see a big dark figure in the middle of my room that would move closer to me, and then when it would reach out to me, I would wake up to more footsteps. I once had friends over after a party who all between 2 and 3 a.m. asked if there was someone in the house. I couldn't really give them a response other than, "Oh yeah, those are just the ghosts." That must have helped. Finally, we decided to try to move all the souvenirs my brother brought back, which included 6 African masks. When we really looked at them, there were a few that were terrifying, like really demonic looking, so we put them in the garage. And this is what really got me. For the next 2 days, birds would fly into the glass of my parents' bay window in their bedroom and die. We had to pick up like 15 dead birds. It only stopped when my dad got rid of the masks. We blame the masks, but I still have no clue why all of this went down. Yeah. See, that's the thing. When you're bringing something from a different culture, you probably should make sure you understand what you're bringing into your house. I'll tell you a story that was shared to me by my second cousin, who is my mom's age, but she's since passed away. But she shared this with me. She said she had found this really cool symbol decoration, and she thought it was really great. And so she put it in their master bedroom above the bed. She was married, of course, and they didn't have kids, but that thing stayed up there for a few years. And in that time, they got pregnant all the time. And they were like, "What's going on? What's changed?" All of a sudden, she's getting pregnant all the time and having kids. And then she said she researched the symbol and found out it was a Celtic symbol of fertility. So she took it off the bedroom wall, and then they quit having kids. So I think there is power in symbols, folks, and masks are a different kind of symbol. But these things are created, and some people, I don't know, some people have ill intent. Some people make things with the idea that it's going to cause people problems. And I'm not trying to say that, you always have to be careful, but you should, if you're going to bring home a symbol from a culture, you should know what that symbol is. Make sure you understand what you're bringing into your home. Because when something is created by like an artist, it is imbued with an energy from that artist. And sometimes energy attracts energy. And so it can be a compounding kind of deal. So I think it's really important to understand what you're bringing into your house. Look at this really weird African mask. It turns out to be the death mask or something. Why do people keep dying in my guest bedroom? It's like, well, you might want to know what your symbols mean that you're bringing into your house. Even if you don't believe in them, it doesn't mean that they don't have a power, because they were created with an intent. And that's the thing. That's the whole scenario behind cursed objects, is they're created with an intent. That is the spell. The term spell, people always think it's an elaborate, really arcane kind of art with, mysterious things, but just having an intention in your mind as you create something will give it an energy, and that energy will radiate. So I think it's just be careful what you bring into your home.
Just being responsible. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's protecting yourself against these things.
Right.
And these events.
Yes, exactly.
Titan brought up a good question. I thought I'd run by you to see what you think, too.
Okay.
Do you think spirits are more active during storms, or does it matter? They are active anytime. Do you think storms, the energy and all that, have an effect on that?
I think they can. So here's my thoughts on that. I this is just off the cuff, but I think that what we understand as spirits are actually many different things. I don't think that they're all just one. Like, not all spirits or things that we experience as ghosts were human. Some of them are different vibrational entities, and I think that there are some of those that are absolutely empowered by that natural energy, and they may need that natural energy release in order to really ramp up their antics or whatever they're doing. and others of them probably doesn't matter. Like a residual haunting, I don't know if that would really matter. Maybe residual hauntings would trigger more commonly in, during storms or something, like, the typical haunted house with the thunderstorm. Maybe that releases the residual energies more often as well. I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking as I'm speaking, but I think there are some entities that it doesn't matter. Like, I don't know if being formerly human, if that really ramps up their activity, because I think it's a different origin. But I believe that there are some energies that exist in a different vibration, and maybe the storms and stuff really ramp up their ability to interact. So, just some thoughts. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nobody can know for sure, but those are my hypotheses. All right. Let's go to the next one. But thanks for the question, Titan. That's a great point.
Yeah.
I think that it can make a difference, but it kind of depends on the source of the activity. Excuse me. Hold on. There we go. The sick and crying roommate. A few years ago, I lived in a little cottage-style house that was built in the 1920s. It was a charming house, and I loved it, but weird things happened in that house. The first thing we noticed was that we couldn't place anything made of glass on the counters in the kitchen and turn our backs because the jar would fall to the ground almost instantly and shatter. I tried putting the jars on the back side of the countertop against the wall, but they would still somehow fall off and break as soon as I left the room. From the first month we moved in, I would hear vomiting noises, coughing, and sobbing coming from the bathroom. Eesh, sounds like a poison deal. My roommate had stomach issues that year, and no one would answer when I asked if everything was okay. So I just assumed she had the pukies. And wanted to be left alone. Do you got the pukies?
I'm going to remember that, actually.
This went on weekly for about 10 months. And one day my roommate and I were hanging out, and she asked if I was feeling okay. And I said, yeah, I'm fine. Why? Well, I heard you throwing up earlier this morning, and I was worried about you. Why were you crying? I thought that was you. We were the only ones home that entire week. We realized that we thought the other person had been sick and crying in the bathroom for the entire year, but it was neither of us. We never figured out where the sounds were coming from. Ooh, that's sad because there's a theory that sometimes when spirits meet a violent end or whatever, whether self-inflicted or otherwise, that they can be stuck in that death state over and over until they maybe process what it was that happened and move on. They got to, but I think that these kind of hauntings could very well be that. They might just be residual, and somebody might have met a really unfortunate end through being sick, being terminally ill, maybe through poison or something. I don't know, but that's really harsh. God, that would suck. All right.
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Interior design from the other side. This happened to my uncle before he married my aunt and became part of our family. He lived in it with his previous wife and 2 kids in a house for most of their lives, and his wife suddenly became terminally ill and died a few months later. Throughout her entire life, she was a very kind person, but she hated the green curtains in their living room more than anything. She would apologize about them when the guests came over, talked about how much she hated them, and whenever they went to home improvement stores and tried to keep them out of view as much as possible. I'm not sure why she or my uncle never got around to changing them. Could have been financial problems, distractions, couldn't find the ones that they liked, but they never did. The green curtains remained. The night she died, my uncle and his kids spent the night with her in the hospital and returned home the next morning, and they said after being in the house in silence for about an hour, those green curtains came crashing to the ground. My uncle and cousin didn't know whether to be absolutely terrified or laugh. They immediately threw them in the garbage and later picked out new ones they thought she would like. I have no doubt that she took it upon herself to finally get rid of those curtains. Wow.
Jeez.
If it's the last thing I do, those curtains are going.
Yeah.
Turns out it was. Wow.
Yeah,
That's awesome. I guess she finally got her wish.
I guess so.
Number 9, the reciprocal visit. A couple of years ago, I was out for a run with my dog. Over the fields behind my house, we came across this old abandoned mansion. It hadn't been lived in for at least 15, maybe 20 years. The rich guy who owned it had went bankrupt, and now the bank owned the house. I decided I'd take a look through the house. It was pretty cool. Run down, but it looked like someone had left in a hurry. I decided to head home, and once I got back to go for a shower, afterwards I walk into the kitchen and start to make a sandwich. I bring it over to the table, and there it is, a Post-it note. You come into my house, I come into your house. Naturally, I freaked out, got my dog, and got out of the house, phoned my parents, who then passed it on to the police. They said it was likely squatters and that some guy had followed me home, but it was nothing to worry about. This is the last we heard about it. No way I'm ever going back to that house. Ooh.
That's creepy.
I don't know. That's one of those stories. I don't know. It's seems too theatrical for me. Like, I don't know. That one doesn't sit right with me. I don't know. What do you think?
Not sure, to be honest.
I just think that it seems so Hollywood, such a Hollywood kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess I see. In that sense, I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just, it's my gut feeling about it. It's just like, I don't know. I'm not really buying that one, but that's okay. It's anybody can, make of these stories what you want. Maybe most of these sound ridiculous to some of you out there, and that's okay. But we just are here to have the discussions. But
that's right.
Number 10, a knock and good night. In high school, my best friend's mom died in a tragic car accident. He found out in the morning and was obviously sent home. So when I found out what happened, I snuck out a side door, went to my car in the senior parking lot, and drove pedal to the floor all the way to his house. Myself and some of our other close friends spent the rest of the day with him to try and comfort him the best we could. So as the day winds down, a few of us decide to spending the night so he doesn't have to be alone. So it gets pretty late, and we're all getting ready for bed when we hear 2 knocks on his bedroom door. His stepdad and all the other adults that were staying had already gone to bed. And when we opened the door, sure enough, nobody was there. Here's the kicker. Every night before his mom went to bed, she'd knock on his door 2 times. Her way of saying goodnight, I guess. To this day, we all swear that it was her, just telling him she was okay and saying goodbye. Wow. That's really pretty cool. I like those stories. I think for the most part, I think they were good.
I think so too.
I also, I don't know when we're talking about these stories, you don't know the intent of the person writing and if they're really accurately describing things or if they're just being creative and spinning a good yarn. It's hard to know, but some of them, it seems like there's a pattern that's repetitive in most hauntings. And when something steps way outside of that normal pattern, I guess is when it really raises flags for me. It's like, oh, there's a Post-it note with a note on it. And for me, that's the stretch. It's like, really? You think it rifled through your drawers quick and found a Post-it note and wrote you a quick note? I don't know. It's like an orgy of evidence kind of thing. Like when something's been staged versus it was a real crime,
Even some videos are like that too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like that one TikToker where it's possible, it's true. It's just, there was a huge, like you said, orgy of evidence in one video where it's like, really? All these events happen at this exact moment when you're recording.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
It's possible though. It is possible.
If that activity is really happening and regularly happening, that place should be crawling with like MIT and other, physics departments and, parapsychology departments or whatever, should be just all over that because that is the evidence that proves it. And so it's always one guy with his handy cam or a security camera capturing all this stuff and nobody ever comes and notices? I don't know. To me, it just doesn't seem likely. But that's my take on it. All right, let's get to some more of these great articles. All right, I promised you the pets, and I'm going to deliver. And this is from Ranker.com, list of pets who returned as ghostly or as ghosts to help or haunt their owners. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right. So I'm not going to read the front, the top stuff, because obviously the title says it all, what we can expect to find here. The first one is Ghost Hounds and a Creepy Child Haunt Peter Brady. Now, Peter Brady is Christopher Knight. The Brady Bunch was an old show. This might predate some of you, but I grew up watching this stupid show. And, I mean, it was campy and silly and whatever, but it was 70s. You know, what do? you had like 3 channels to work with, so you watch something. And this is one of the shows that was on a lot. The Brady Bunch. But, yeah, so let's see what he says. Christopher Knight tells this strange tale while filming a ghost episode of The Brady Bunch. The cast was staying at a creepy bed and breakfast and stayed up late, telling ghost stories before finally hitting the sack. According to Knight, who played Peter Brady, he woke up in the middle of the night to find 2 hunting dogs sitting at the foot of his bed staring at him. Then he saw a little girl gazing at him from the doorway. Neither the dogs nor the girl made a sound. The next day, Knight related his strange encounter with the bed and breakfast owner, shared his strange encounter. The bed and breakfast owner took him to a fireplace where 2 hunting dogs were depicted on the metal fire guard of the old house's fireplace. They were the same dogs Peter saw. No one knows if the decorations were inspired by 2 real dogs who once lived in the house, but the mysterious experience left the young actor shaken. Yikes.
Jeez. That one's weird because it has no context. It just kind of happened, apparently.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, that's not unusual. If you're staying in a bed and breakfast, that maybe something pops off for you.
Yeah, true, actually. Yeah.
Wiggy, who sensed asbestos from beyond. Really? This strange encounter occurred after nursery school teacher Deborah Tadman's oldest cat, Wiggy, passed. Grief-stricken, Deborah called animal communicator Sharon Callahan to contact the spirit of her lost pet. As Deborah recounts, Wiggy and I had a very close relationship, and I felt as if I had lost a child. He had seen me through a marriage, divorce, other relationships, 3 house moves, and other life experiences. Sharon was able to reach Wiggy in the great beyond and told Deborah Wiggy was concerned about her apartment because it was a toxic place. About a year later, Deborah decided to paint her apartment and discovered asbestos and highly toxic mold in the walls and ceiling and aluminum wiring in grave danger of causing a fire. Deborah is forever grateful to Wiggy. To this day, I can't believe how accurate and true that reading was. There's no way that Sharon, the animal medium, could have known that the asbestos and mold were beneath the walls. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think that's I don't know. It's seems unusual, folks, but these pets are spirits too, right?
That's right.
All right. The Black Dog of Connecticut will end you. Oof. That's
a title. Jeez.
Wow. Cut right to the chase. The Black Dog hangs around Castle Craig in Connecticut, where it terrorizes hikers and castle visitors for decades. Described as small, short-haired, and spaniel-like, the Black Dog makes no sound, even when it seems to be howling or barking. The spectral pooch comes with its own folklore. If a man shall meet the Black Dog once, it shall be for joy, and if twice, it shall be for sorrow, and the 3rd time, he shall die. Numerous people blame the animal for the passings of those who saw the dog 3 times, and tales of such ends date back to the 1800s. Oof.
I actually didn't know about that one. That's interesting.
You did know it?
I did not know it.
Oh, yeah, me either. That was brand new to me, too.
Wow.
The Blue Ghost Dog, an avenging spirit. The Blue Ghost Dog legend is one of the oldest ghost stories in the United States, dating back to the 1700s. As the story goes, Charles Thomas Sims was attacked by a pack of thieves after a night of drinking and bragging about the amount of gold he had. Sims fought to his last breath with his faithful dog, a blue tick hound, battling at his side. In the end, the robbers were too strong for them, and the two fell on a rock along the road and perished. The thieves buried the gold, and when they returned for it, were beset by a large blue tick hound. The head thief escaped, but soon fell ill and perished. To this day, people say the hound watches over his master's gold. A restaurant and bar takes its name from the blue dog. Wow. That sounds very legendary.
It does.
Yeah. Could be some truth to it. I don't know. The haunted intersection where ghost horses roam. Cats and dogs are by far the most common animals reported in non-human haunting, but large domesticated animals are also reported to return from the grave. In the Chicago suburbs, there are stables and riding trails. In the woods near the busy intersection of 95th Street and Keene, on one of the trails crosses this dangerous junction. Until recently, there was no traffic control device to allow those on horseback to cross safely, and at least 7 people and some horses were slain. There have been numerous reports of ghost horse sightings, especially at night or near dusk. Dozens of motorists have seen what appears to be a horse and rider in silhouette attempting to cross from one side of 95th Street to the other. When drivers slow down to look at the pair, they suddenly dissolve from view. These figures don't simply disappear near one side of the street or the other, but often right in the middle of the road. I wonder, does the Paranormal Portal traffic pick up around Halloween? Well, sometimes it does, Bobby. I don't know. It's weird. It's feast and famine. You know, some days there's lots of people, some days there's less. It's just the way of the world. But yeah, Halloween is a great time. I always love Halloween, but I guess you can understand why.
Oh, I've been muted this whole time. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. I was going to say, MCAT says that you sound hoarse.
Get them while they're free. I do sound a little bit hoarse. Thank you, MCAT. And he said. All right. Yaba returns to play ball with her human. Perhaps because of a Jesus candle. Wow. Can't wait to see this. The story of Yaba is a typical pet haunting testimonial. On August 30th, 2011, Yaba passed 11 days before her 17th birthday. She and owner Maureen were inseparable. Yaba was her rock and the love of her life, aside from her son. One night, Maureen woke up and found her beloved friend had passed. She was devastated, desperate, and in the throes of grief, Maureen began calling out to Yaba while taking pictures, hoping she could just get a glimpse of the dog's spirit in one of her photos. The second picture taken caught an image that looks like a dog. After taking the picture, Maureen made a memorial to the dog with her toys, a rosary, and a Jesus candle. She spoke to her every day as if she was still there. One day, Maureen took out a ball and said, "Yaba, here's your ball. Come on, let's play." The ball moved. It was sitting still on the floor and rolled. Then it happened again. She felt something brush against her, though she was alone. She believes it was the ghost of Yaba letting her know all was well, and that she's still with her owner in spirit. Oh, that's cute. I think that's beautiful. Yaba.
I like positive stories like that one.
Yeah, of course. I do think the pets, I do believe they stay with us. You know, I really do. I think they're there. They're just out of sight. Still being, you know, they're faithful companions. What was this one called? Demon Cat of the Capitol. I've heard of this before. I've heard of this one before. It's supposed to be an omen of sorts. The United States Capitol building is said to be haunted by the ghost of a cat. The demonic kitty is said to have glowing red eyes and appears out of nowhere to scare passers-by. Some say Demon Cat appears before important events or natural disasters. It was seen before the stock market crash of 1929 and the assassination of President Kennedy in 1963. The Washington, D.C. female roller skating team, the Demon Cats, is named after the Satanic Kitty. Satanic Kitty? Seriously? Oh.
Satanic Kitty. Right.
It's just a sign. It's not a devil. The benign, creepy terrier of the Holly Hotel. The historic Holly Hotel is one of the most notorious haunted places in Michigan. World-famous Ghostbuster Norman Gauthier, professor of parapsychology, visited the hotel in 1989 and declared the joint loaded with spirits. Since then, many independent groups have investigated the hotel. Numerous visitors have reported smelling cigar smoke and floral perfume and hearing disembodied voices late at night in the halls. Most striking, however, are the continual reports of guests hearing and seeing the spirit of Leona, the dog of former hotel owner Mr. Hurst. Guests describe the ghost dog as looking similar to a rat terrier. Leona can be heard running down the halls, brushing up against people's legs. Phantom barking is often observed, especially by early morning chefs. Huh. Yeah, most of these seem more legendary than actual testimonials.
True. Yeah.
Preston, ghost dog protector of Nashville, trick-or-treaters. Oh, that's cute. Hold on. The Pooch who haunts Nashville's Belmont Hillsborough neighborhood is one of the most famous ghost dogs around. The spirit is said to be that of a good-hearted boxer named Preston who keeps vigil over young trick-or-treaters every Halloween. Some witnesses have heard barking on Halloween night. Yeah, because that's the only dog anywhere. Others say if you walk too slowly or stop in the middle of the street, an unseen dog will bump and nudge you along so you don't get hit by a car. An old woman who lived in the neighborhood used to leave a dog biscuit for Preston on her porch every Halloween night for many years. Huh. Well, that's sweet.
This is apparently where Bobby is.
Bobby?
In the chat, Bobby Simpson.
Oh, cool. That's my neck of the woods. Have you heard of that before, Bobby? Have you heard of the Preston, the ghost dog protector of Nashville trick-or-treaters? You have to let us know.
Yes.
That's a good doggy. Yeah, it is for sure, Titan. An amorous ape haunts a British estate. It's amorous. Look at that picture. What the hell is going on there?
Monkey. Oh, okay.
I don't know what's going on there.
Alrighty.
It's okay. Numerous ghosts reportedly roam Athelhampton House, a large estate in Dorset near Dorchester, England. But perhaps the most famous of all spectral entities is the ghost of Martin, a pet ape, possibly a chimpanzee that belonged to William Martin and his family, who built Athelhampton in 1485. 1485, wow. Legend has it Martin suffered a gnarly fate when he was accidentally sealed up in a room of Athelhampton and died of starvation. Oh. Guests of the estate claim they hear Martin scratching at the walls, eager to escape his unintentional tomb. Others, however, claim that Martin is an overall happy ghost who expresses his happiness in a rather crude manner. Several visitors claim they hear Martin laughing while pleasing himself. Oh, no.
Okay.
Some say this randy side of the ape comes from his infatuation with one of William Martin's daughters, and that she might be responsible for his early demise, given they claim she locked herself in a room to end her own life following a heartbreak, not knowing Martin had followed her inside. Oh, okay. Well, that's a whole different. That's a whole different page. I think this is the last one. I don't know if it is. Yep, that is the last one. Here's the last one, and then we'll go to the Germer files. All dogs go to heaven. I think they do. On December 30th, 1993, Jan Price suffered a near-fatal heart attack and had a near-death experience. During her NDE, Jan found herself in strange, misty surroundings. Suddenly, her beloved dog, Maggie, was with her. Maggie had passed less than a month before, and as Jan recounts, I felt her presence, her love, and she appeared to me as she had when she was in physical form, only younger, more vital. According to Jan, Maggie could speak to her in a spiritual way and said, "You know that Daddy can't handle both of us being gone right now." Jan told the dog that she was going to go back to the land of the living, and Maggie promised her when her time came to return to heaven, they would explore wonderful things together. Wow, that's beautiful. Huh. I think that's lovely. What do you think?
I think that is beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, this is my favorite type of story, so I mean, yeah. I love it.
Love, love, love. Yeah, that was a good one. That was sweet. Most of those stories were very legendary, and that's cool too. We don't do a lot of talking about that kind of stuff on the portal because, and the reason why is because I've always not really tried to actively steer away from historical accounts, but it's just that a lot of them have been done to death. There's shows upon shows upon shows that talk about the legendary stuff, and what can I do that's going to make it any newer or better? So I like to talk about the current stuff that people are experiencing, because that to me is what's exciting. But I don't mind visiting that kind of stuff once in a while. So hope you guys didn't mind it either. But you know what time it is, Sheldon?
It's time for me to tell you what Bobby said. Bobby said, "Nope, never been, but have been to Belle Mead Mansion on a couple of, if I said that right, hopefully, on a couple of field trips."
Oh, okay, cool.
I don't know if you know the Belle Mead, I think it's pronounced, mansion.
No, I'm not familiar with that right offhand, but I'm still kind of foggy in my head. So if I do know it, I don't remember it right now.
That's fair.
But it could be the cold medicine. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But it's time for the Germer files.
Oh, the most famous paranormal story out of Tennessee has to be of the Bell Witch. Okay.
Oh, the Bell Witch. Sure. Okay. All right. I didn't recognize I thought when he said Bell that it was like, is this the Bell Witch? But I didn't know. Belle Mead Manor. Okay. Oh, that's cool. I think that must be a really intense place to go see. But anyway, it's time for the Germer files.
When I was 17, I worked for a janitorial company, and the owner and my boss, we got along really good. We were driving out in the country one night, and we got to the point where I did not know where I was. We went that far out. And he goes, "Oh, I know where we are." He goes, "This is my old milk route." I said, "Okay, well, since you know where you are, I'll keep going the direction we're going." And we're driving along, and it's 11:30 at night. And we come upon this old farmhouse and barn. And I said, "Wow," I said, "that's an old farmhouse." And he goes, "Yeah, great." And I looked at him, I said, "What's your problem?" And he goes, "What?" I said, "The way you just said that, it didn't sound too good." He goes, "It's a farmhouse. You want me to get excited?" I said, "No." I said, "What's wrong with that farmhouse?" He goes, "Nothing." He goes, "Leave it alone." I said, "No, I'm not going to leave it alone." I said, "What's wrong with the farmhouse?" He goes, "It's haunted." I said, "No, it's not." He goes, "Actually, it is." I said, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I was in the house when I was a senior in high school." And at the time, he was 28 years old. He said it was July. It was a warm summer night. Him and 3 friends went out to this farmhouse because they had heard it was haunted. So they went out there and they broke into the house. And he said they went upstairs, and he said what was weird was the 4-bedroom doors upstairs, every door was closed. So it was kind of scary opening these doors going into these rooms. And nothing was in the rooms. The house was completely empty. So they walked downstairs, and they're standing in the kitchen. And he said it was a very warm night. He goes, "We were sweating that night." And they were just standing around the kitchen goofing around saying, "Ooh, scary." And one of his friends goes, "Oh, this place isn't haunted. You know, let's get out of here." And when he said that, all 4 bedroom doors, one at a time, slammed shut. Then something came down the stairs like it was pissed off. And they froze. They couldn't move. They're all staring at the entrance to the kitchen. And on the other side of the entrance was the stairs. And they're just staring. Then all of a sudden, all 4 of them could see their breath. So that's when they got the nerve to run. Well, about 2 months later, again, we're driving around. That's 12 o'clock at night or so. And he kept, I don't know how we ended up in the same area, but he kept falling asleep because he had a phone call at 2 o'clock in the morning. One of the janitors called him, said they had a problem at the building, so he had to go in, and he had been up all day long. And he was nodding off. And I kept waking him up, and one time I woke him up, and he goes, "Hey," he goes, "you need to find a place to pull over so I can go to the bathroom." I said, "Okay." And not more than 30 seconds after I said, "Okay," he fell asleep again. Well, as soon as he fell asleep, there's the house. So I pull into this limestone driveway and drive past the barn. Barn's to the left, house is to the right. I go past the barn, and there's about a 20-foot path of grass on the backside of the barn. Then after the grass is a cornfield. So I pull in there, and I stop, shut the car off, and hit him in his arms and said, "Hey, go use the bathroom." He wakes up. He looks to his right, and he's looking at a cornfield. He looks to his left, and he sees a barn door that the doors slide open and close. Then he looks behind him, and he sees the house. And Wes, this man's eyes, I thought were going to come out of his head. He's like, "No, you're not." I said, "Jason," I said, "we're outside. Don't worry about it. Go to the bathroom. Do what you need to do." And he was begging and pleading me, "Please, leave. I'll go to the bathroom somewhere else." I said, "Oh, come on." I said, "We're outside. What's going to happen?" I finally talked him into it. He went outside. He went to the bathroom. He comes back into the car. And I had already opened my car door, and my left leg was hanging out the car, resting on the ground. And between the 2 doors, there was about a 12-inch gap where you could see through the barn, and you could see the road on the other side, and the moon was very bright that night. And we were sitting there talking, and that's when I told him about my encounter. He goes, "Scott, you saw a Bigfoot." I said, "Is that?" He goes, "Yeah, that sounds like a Bigfoot. This is what you saw." He goes, "You didn't see a monster. You saw a Bigfoot." I said, "Oh, my God." And I was telling him, I said, "I remember it like it was yesterday." And we're talking, and the only way I can describe this is something it was 2 feet, went from one side of the barn to the other. And it wasn't a walking pattern in the feet. It was like somebody was sidestepping all the way across the barn. And I was looking at him to see if he could hear it, because he heard it over himself talking, and he stopped talking, and I was staring at him. I wish I would have been looking at the barn door to see if I could see something go past that opening. And I go, "Did you hear that?" He goes, "Yeah, I heard that." He goes, "You want to go?" And I started to get out of the car. I said, "No, let's go see what it was." He grabbed me by the collar of my shirt, pulled me back into the car so hard where he ripped my collar. He goes, "Close that door, start the car. We're leaving now. We're not going to go into the barn and see what made that noise." He goes, "Because I can tell you right now, and you know also, that what you just heard was not a dog. It wasn't a coyote, wasn't a raccoon, wasn't a possum, wasn't a skunk. those were 2 feet. I said, yeah, they were. He goes, and we're not going to go in the barn and look. He goes, we're leaving right now. He goes, I am your boss, and I'm the owner of the company you work for. I'm telling you right now, start the car. So I said, okay. So I closed the door, start the car. The 76 Monte Carlo's got the bench seats. So back then you'd throw up your right arm on top of the seats and turn around and back up. Well, I started rolling backwards before I actually got my head turned around to look out the back window. And as soon as my head turned to look out the back window, I slammed on the brakes, and Jason's head just did a whiplash. And he's going, what the hell are you doing? I said, I just ran over some lady. He's like, what? I said, I just ran over some lady. I said, she was wearing a white bonnet thing on her head, light blue dress with a white apron, like something that they'd be wearing in the early 1900s. Looks like she was out hanging laundry outside. He goes, no, you didn't. I'm opening the car door. He goes, Scott, where are you going? I said, Jason, I just ran over some lady. I walked behind the car, and my knees are shaking so bad I can barely even walk. I get on my hands and knees. I'm looking underneath the car. There's nothing there. I walk around the passenger side. I'm looking. I walk around to the front of the car, and I fell because my knees just gave out on me. And Jason, I hear the car door open, and he's like, Scott, where are you? What's wrong? He thought something grabbed my legs and dragged me underneath the car. He comes running out. He goes, what happened? I said, I can't walk. My knees are shaking so bad. He goes, you need help? I said, no, I think I can stand up. And I finally stood up, got in the car. We left, got a couple of miles away from the house. And I pull over, and he goes, what are you doing? I said, I need to stop driving right now. I said, I'm shaking so bad. I said, I need a moment, please. I need a moment. He goes, okay, I can understand that. So that's my backing over a ghost encounter. She was as clear as flesh and blood. I mean, it was that clear. And like I said, the moon was really bright that night, and she was standing behind the car. Now, what the story is on this house was, the house was actually built in 1832. And in 1902, husband, wife, and 3 kids were murdered in that house. When he researched it in the county that it was in at the library, when he asked about the address of that house, he said an older woman that was working at that library said, what do you want that information for? He goes, oh, I just want to check it out. She goes, if you're planning on going there, don't.
Good morning and welcome to our Bigfoot series.
Wow.
This is back by popular
Hold on.
demand. We did a webinar in the fall.
And we're done with that. I didn't realize it would autoplay to the next one, but yes, that was the Germer Files, ladies and gentlemen. And it's a sneak peek of one of the episodes coming up on Sasquatch Chronicles. But it was nice of Wes to say, he said, yeah, go ahead, show it to the crowd. And so I hope you guys enjoyed that. And you got a sneak peek to the Sasquatch Chronicles app that's going to be released very, very soon. And I'm one of the proud owners of that app, and it's really slick. I've been testing it out for him, and it works like a charm. It's really does pretty much everything his website does, except it's, in the mobile app. So if you're a member of Sasquatch Chronicles, you're going to want to grab that. I think it'll be worth your while. But that's about all the steam I got for you guys tonight. Sheldon, how you doing?
Doing great. That was actually a really, really good story.
Yeah, it really was. Really many layered, right? So there's a lot of things going on. And very creepy, yeah. To, this be dealing with Sasquatch, and a ghost at the same time. I don't know. That's incredible. So
yeah, it's got to be like getting struck by lightning as far as paranormal stuff goes.
Yeah, it's a hat trick, I guess, as far as paranormal goes. But very cool stuff. Did you get a chance to listen to Sykesville Monster yet? No pressure. No, I haven't done anything. I've just been sleeping, and I really haven't. I've managed to sit down on my computer over the last couple of days a few times and just try to respond to all the messages and stuff, because I think it's really sweet, all the love and concern you guys have been showing me, and the least I could do is respond. So I was responding to a bunch of messages, and but literally it was just a lot of back and forth to the couch and going to sleep and resting, I guess, for the most part. But yeah, thank you guys for all that. Yeah, Wes does always deliver. Yeah, good stories, great show. Oh, thank you, Fourth Color, and thank you again to I got to remember the name here. Spirit Stalker 151 for the $5. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. I need that cup of coffee, as it turns out. I don't think I'll have coffee now. I'll probably go make some tea though. But hopefully, now we're going to be taking a couple of days off, which is perfect timing. I wanted to come back and do at least one show, even though I'm not quite in the saddle yet, but I just hate being away. I hate to miss the shows. You guys are such a big part of my life, and doing the shows is such an important part of my life. So I had to come back tonight because, I got the next couple of days to relax and stuff. But remember to check out the podcast. We're going to be releasing a new one. I'm going to be working on that after the show here. And it's Kia from Spokane. And she's had a whole host of paranormal events happen to her. And so she and I talked and had a great discussion. So that'll be later tonight it'll be out. Your computer started? Oh, hey, Sheldon, what'd you think of that? Oh, he sent me a message saying his computer just suddenly had to restart. So I guess he's going to miss the very end here, folks. But from Sheldon, do please check out our Discord if you want to stay in touch with all of us, because that's what Sheldon would have told you. Discord link, let me just put it in the chat. It does change from time to time, so if you're watching an older episode, try to find a newer episode, because this link is not static. Use copy. So I'm going to put the link in the chat here. Any of you want to get involved in our Discord community, please do. There's several of you out there that are already into it, and thank you so much for doing that and being a part of our journey on Discord as well. I'm usually monitoring that all day long. I mean, so if you're in there talking, I'll be seeing those and responding from time to time as much as I can. But that's all we got for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me. Sorry for my scratchy voice, but I just wanted to spend a little time with you before the couple of days off and give you at least one show. And I hope you felt it was a good show. I'm a big sweaty mess now, sitting here doing it, because it does take a lot to do these shows. I don't know, as some of you know that have your own shows, you have to put a lot of energy into them. So I'm about out of energy, but enjoyed the show tonight. Y'all take care. Thank you, Ghost Magnet. I appreciate that. And watch for the podcast. It'll be coming out later tonight. You can find that on all the major platforms: Pandora, Spotify, iHeart, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, CastBox. There's a gajillion of them. So wherever you find podcasts, just do a search for Paranormal Portal, and we should be there. If you ever find one that we're not on, let me know, because I'll make sure that we get there as well. So anyway, folks, that's all we got for you tonight. But remember, I love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice, take care of each other, help each other out. Find the magic in every day and remember to laugh as much as you can. And I'll be back on Wednesday night with Dawn, and I should be a much more improved version of myself by then. So until then, you guys take care, have a great couple days, and meet me in the Discord. I'll be there. So we'll talk to you guys later. Good night, everybody. Love y'all, and sweet dreams.